All right, Mustang fans and surrounding areas, it's Wednesday early afternoon, and that means we're going to be talking football. The playoffs are just around the corner here, but we teams around the area still have one more week to play, and then it's first round of the playoffs. And here today, we're going to talk Ingleside Mustangs football with our AD head football coach, Travis Chrisman. Coach, how you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Coach. Doing great. Coach, the season for us, regular season is done. Congratulations. We did make the playoffs, so we will be in the postseason. And we'll talk with Coach about the team that will play here later in this podcast. But Coach, we ended up 5-5, 500. I think that was great. Obviously, in a what I would say a very tough district. This was a tough district. All the teams in the district were really good, great coaches, and it was a battle every week. Coach, I'd like to go back to last week and recap the Cuero Gobbler game. We traveled to Cuero, final district game of the season, as the Mustangs will have a bye this week and get ready for the first round of the playoffs. Took a loss 40-14. Coach, I want to talk a little bit about the offense and defense, but I wanted to come out with the stats. Number three, Sawyer Chalk, our QB, 11-21 for 158 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception. Also ran 16 times for 86 yards. The guys that were productive here in the pass game for us, Jordan Smith, number one, 4 receptions, 42 yards. Number 13, Javier Solis, the third, 4 receptions for 56 yards. And then Isaac Freeman got into the action with 2 receptions for 59 yards. So I thought our passing game was good. It's something that we had, tried to continue to improve on every week. And I think that has happened. But I want to get your thoughts on the performance of our players, of our team. And what did you see from Cuero that they were able to do on our defense that gave them that 40-point advantage?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we did some good things. Did some good things out there. Started off pretty hot. Our first completed play. Threw a little snag route to Javi, and Javi took it. A good way. Made a good play and kind of hit the burst for a little bit, and then unfortunately that first drive, we got a really good start, and then we had, I think, 3 penalties on that drive, which just absolutely killed us. And took away some good momentum that we had going there. Thought our run game was okay. Passing wise too, there was some stuff there. We've got to, we still got to work on our accuracy that we've been improving on all year. But at the same time too, we've got to run the right routes at all times, and we got to make the right decision with the ball. And again, that's just coming with a better understanding of our offense, and our guys are continuing to grow, but we're still having some mix-ups here and there that we've got to improve on and have to take ownership of. And so some really good things did happen. Like I said, Isaac Freeman had both touchdowns, scored on a seam up the middle, and then had one leaking out of the backfield and took it in the red zone. And those were 2 big plays. Like I said, Javi had an explosive play, and they're a little bit further. Cuero's a little bit further advanced than we are in terms of size and speed. Not saying that we would cower down to that at all, because we don't. We're going to play no matter who is across from us. We're going to give them absolutely everything we have. We're going to try to scheme them and play ball. But they're a really good football team. They're coached by a really, really talented staff as well. I've known Coach Vikoch for a long time, since I started my career here in Texas. And, he's always going to have them ready to go. He's a really good coach. They have, a ton of tradition and a lot of really, really talented athletes. Game should have been closer on our part, but we just got to learn from it, keep improving, and move on and take advantage of this bye week that we have right now going into our first round against Port Isabel.
Yeah, when you see the team, we drive, we get first downs, we move the chains a few times, and then we get into their territory, and then it just kind of stalls, right? Like you
Yep.
said, it's either a penalty or a mistake that just kills that drive, right? Just kind of hurts us, and that's kind of been the story for us in district. if you've gone to every game, is that, we do move the ball. It's not like they shut us down, but it's a mistake here, mistake there,
Mhm.
or a penalty that really stalls that drive. You got a punt, or we don't get the first down and the ball goes over. So definitely, I think we have improved, especially in the pass game. I know that is something that we wanted to improve on, and I think we have gotten better
Mhm.
as time has gone. Coach Aaron Flores, I didn't see that he wasn't in pads. I think that's his name, Aaron Flores.
Yeah,
Can you give us
44.
an up?
Yep.
Can you give us an update? Is he going to be ready for the playoffs?
He should be. He should be coming back. He's been cleared. We're waiting on that note right now. I know he hasn't played since Robstown, so he had a real good knee bruise, and is coming off of that. But yeah, he tried to go through pregame at Rockport and just wasn't able to, and so we've held him out ever since, and hopefully that we'll get him back here starting in week one of the playoffs.
Yeah, I know when he was healthy, Roman Davila was out for a while, and Roman Davila got
Hmm.
healthy, and then so those are all factors right into the game. Don't make no excuses, but you want everybody healthy when you're playing a game on Friday night. Also, here on the Coach Travis Chrisman Weekly Podcast, we have been recognizing a lot of the Mustang football staff members of the week. So they go down and they take a picture with a teacher of they vote. And so last week we were not on, my fault, apologies. But week 9 was Miss Edlin, was the Mustang football staff member of the week. And for week 10, it was Mrs. Castle. So definitely want to recognize those teachers. They do a great job there, Coach. I can tell you that I hear a lot of things from people that talk, when it comes to academics and the school itself. Ingleside, amongst people that I've talked to in the past and here recently, always talk about how good those teachers are and how much their kids learn. And so there's talks that go outside of podcasting. And so we want to recognize the great teachers that we have there at Ingleside. Coach, also, let's talk about the other levels of football. Season is over. Um, so kind of give us your thoughts on junior varsity. Our freshman team, I know, played very well this year, and then our middle school. Just your overall thoughts on the season and the way these teams performed for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, one thing I was really, really proud of this year from our guys is that we were able to carry, three teams the entire year, and so that was really, really good. We had some injury problems that are going to happen, throughout any course of anybody's season. Injuries are going to happen, and unfortunate events like that. But one thing that again that I'm really really proud of our kids at every level, whether it be freshmen in JV and in varsity, our kids whether we're up, we're down, or we're right in the middle of it. Like our kids never stop. They don't quit. They're not stopping fighting. They're not cowering down. And so that's one thing that we're really really proud of our kids. Our JV team wasn't able to pull away with a ton of wins this year, but at the same time, they have one of the smaller rosters, and throughout the latter part of this season, they've gone into battle with 20 or less, and so those guys are having to play a ton of football, but they don't shy away from it. They're trying to do what is asked of them and do it to the best of their abilities. So that's all we can ask from them, and we're proud of them for that too. Same with the freshmen. Um, them having to come into a more developed system offensively, defensively, they were able to take that information, retain it, and build on it. And so with them progressing the way they did too, man, they played a lot of good football this year. Lost a couple close ones, and had really improved in this year. And so we're excited for what's coming up. Junior high included. Junior high ended their season last night against Cuero. Unfortunately, didn't get a win on either eighth grade team or our seventh grade team, but our seventh grade team, man, give them a shout out. They played their best game of the year that they had, and so we were proud of them to kind of go out on a note like that. Scored, I believe, 26 points, which is, I think, big season high for them against three really, really talented Cuero squads. And so, again, we just want to keep preaching to our kids to keep fighting no matter what's going on in the game, and they've been able to do that. So we're really, really proud of
I like what's coming up, Coach. I read a lot of posts. I
them.
talk to people there in Ingleside. We follow even to the youth level, right? And because it's the future of Ingleside, and so we want to be able to bring out the talent that we have there on all levels. And we've got talent coming up here in Ingleside. It's going to be very good when they get up and you see them on Friday nights. We're going to be very competitive, I think, Coach, for the next couple of years. So I'm really excited about what we have there in Ingleside, what we've been able to do this year, and the way the guys are fighting and what we have coming up in the next couple of years. Coach, here on the podcast, we always talk about some of the assistants and give Coach Chrisman an opportunity to talk a lot about the assistants. Obviously, they play such a big role. They do so much that it goes unnoticed, right? We only see what they do and they coach on the field, but during the weekday they do so much. They have to do classes as well. Today, Coach is going to talk about two of his assistant coaches, our running backs coach there in Ingleside, Richard Sanchez, and our safeties coach, Josh Coffield. Coach, talk to us a little bit about Coach Sanchez and how long has he been there in Ingleside?
This is Coach Sanchez. Ooh, I think this could be his fifth year. If it's not his fifth, it's his fourth. I'm pretty sure. And you know what? I think it's his fourth because I think he got here during 2020.
Okay.
So Coach Sanchez too is about to be in his third year as our head baseball coach as well. Does our coaches our running backs too. Man, great personality, great work ethic. Is always looking for ways to improve and coaches guys as hard as he possibly can. Man, he's takes a lot of pride in what he does. And on top of that is, like I said, very dedicated to what we do. But is also a guy who might be the funniest guy in the coach's office as well. And so it's always awesome to have one of those guys who does tremendous impersonations, as was done during the community pep rally. And I like to go back and forth with him, which we have in impersonating people or things and have a good time with it. But we're very lucky to have him. Does a great job. He's very, like I said, very dedicated to the program as a whole. Not just football, not just baseball. He's here for all of our kids and is very committed. Kids love him.
Awesome. And then we've got our safeties coach, Coach Josh Cofield. He's one of our younger coach. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Josh Caulfield is again. He's in his second year here at Ingleside. Really, I think he's in year three. I think like three and a half of in education. He's a veteran. He is a class of '08 of Ingleside. He's quarterback of probably the best team that's ever played here. Back in '06, the state semifinal team. Safety, special teams, did it all, man. He was a stud. He is a stud. But again, talk about dedication, man. He is here for everybody, man. Loves to hold our kids accountable as a disciplinarian, but a great relationship builder too. And so he's very dedicated from the ground up, from the youth all the way up to our varsity kids. Doesn't matter the sport. He's going to help out anybody, anywhere, and that's just who he is. He's very, very dedicated to what he does. We're very lucky to have him, and it's always good to have a guy that's on your staff that again is a product of the hometown and at one of the most successful points in its being too. So it's great to have him. We're lucky to have him, and we're excited. He's Mustang again.
Now you got a couple of those guys that played there
Yep.
for Ingleside come back. McHugh, I know, was one, and
Yep.
and
Coach Jimenez.
Josh, you're coaching man. So it's always nice. It's always nice. You want to win wherever you go, right? But when you come back to where you graduated, it's special. And I've
Hmm.
seen Coach Coffield there on Saturdays out there with the youth out there doing what he needs to do, or what he can do to help the team, those players grow. So it's always nice to have that. We've got some great coaching. Obviously, coach, it starts with you. Obviously, you set the foundation and division there, but we've got some great assistant coaches. Every good program needs them, and we've got some, and we've been able to highlight some of those here on the podcast, and hopefully we'll continue to do that next week as well with coach. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about our Ingleside youth football team. I was able to get here a little late, stream a couple of games, but I was able to talk to the league president, Eric Rodgers, and kind of fill me in on just what they've done and got an idea of the way that they played this year. We had three teams that made the playoffs this year, right? Our freshman team made the first round, our seniors made the first round, and our sophomore group got a first round bye. This team went undefeated. And I don't know if you ever follow football, but these are little kids, right? So they
Yeah.
come out sometimes, they're not going to want to play. I don't feel like playing. And to
Hmm.
be able to win every game, Coach Chrisman, and not lose. I think that's special in itself. I mean,
Oh,
just to
no
go
doubt.
through the whole season undefeated, what an accomplishment. That is the future of the Mustangs. They did play in Rockport and took a very close loss here to the Calallen Little Wildcats, 12-6. I was there at the game.
Mhm.
If you want to see it, it's there on our MPND Sports Network, our Facebook page. But just a great season. Came up a little short in the second round, one game right before the Super Bowl, but doesn't take away from their season. I wanted to congratulate, obviously, our league president, Eric Rodgers, but head coach or coaches, Aaron Reyna, Joseph Achievas, Joshua Rodgers, Mike Fenton, Tim Robles, and James Huff. These were the coaches that were there coming out every day of practice. I don't know if people know it's on a volunteer basis, right? And so
Right.
these guys come out, do a full-time job, come out every day to practice and then spend sometimes they travel a good distance.
Mhm.
So to have these guys, I want to say thank you to all of the coaches there. If it wasn't for them and the board, we don't have this league. So thank you for everyone that's involved in all you do for our kids to be able to have this league. And Coach Chrisman, it's a great league that we have there.
Yes,
So just
sir.
wanted to go ahead and send a shout out to them. And then let's talk now to the playoffs, right? So as I said, we've got a bye this week. We will be off, and next week on Friday we'll be traveling. I'm gonna let Coach talk a little bit more about that. But Coach, just tell us. Next week we'll be traveling on the road. We'll be meeting neutral place. Who are we playing, and what are the keys to getting a victory?
Yeah, so we've got Port Isabel coming into it. So they're a 8-2 ball club, I believe, right now. They played 10 straight. They're on a bye week right now too. Very good at what they do, very traditional in what they do with their slot T offense. Something that they've been doing for a really, really long time. And so they know what they want to do with it, and are efficient. They're efficient in what they do. They've got a lot of beef up front. They've got some big kids. Defensively, they've got a really, really big D line, some big outside linebackers. They got a bunch. They got some good looking kids who play really tough. And so, there's we were able to exchange film here recently, and so we're able to start getting a look at them and trying to figure out what we want to do offensively and defensively. And we've got a pretty good idea of that so far, and kind of starting to implement that into our bye week practice right now, and then try to perfect it all in next week's preparation to leading up to that Friday night.
And that game, Coach, will be played where and what time?
That's it. Going to be at Falfurrius at 7 p.m. next Friday.
So go ahead and go there. So not that this matters, Coach, but I'm just throwing it out there for the people that are going to see this. So Port Isabel had one loss in district to La Feria,
Mhm.
32-27. If you guys recall, Ingleside defeated La Feria in the first game of this season, 27-0. So not that that matters, because Coach
Mhm.
Coach Chrisman will tell you that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
That really
a
matters,
long
right?
time ago.
Teams get better. But for you guys that follow, like I do, just want to throw that out there. Their one loss came to La Feria, a team that early on this season we defeated. But again, that doesn't mean anything. This is a new season, and we got to come out and play. But Coach, I think we got a good shot to win this game.
Yes, sir.
I think we're going to do some great things here, and I think we're going to be very competitive. And hopefully, at the very end, we're going to get that W, and we're going to be moving on to the second round. Coach, thank you for coming on and spending some time. Coach will be back next week again. It'll be on Wednesday at 2:15. It's live, so please tune in and catch it live. But the way you can help this podcast grow is to like it and share it. Right after this, I downloaded to our YouTube channel. We do have a YouTube channel, the MPND Sports Network YouTube channel. We're trying to get that to grow. So definitely go on over there as well, and definitely subscribe, as we want to get more eyes on this network. Coach, thank you. And I'll give you the final word. Anything else you want to add?
No, just utilizing this bye week, getting our kids some much needed rest, but also taking time to sharpen up. And so we're looking forward to this another week and a half of preparation. And again, like I said, hopefully in 2 weeks we're visiting over a first round win.
Absolutely. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Coach, I will see you in a couple of days. Have a great
All right,
one.
sounds good. See ya.